So, as many people predicted, in fact, all the Iran analysts predicted that before 8 p.m. tonight, Trump would back down and that some form of some deal would be announced. So there's still a lot of confusion and still some things that are not clear. One is, will America's bosom buddy and leader of the pack, Israel, also stop the bombing? There is some news that Israel is also going to declare a ceasefire. So let's see what that means. But what has been agreed to? So why don't I read first what the White House has put out as a statement. Based on conversations with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir of Pakistan, and wherein they requested that I hold off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with a definite agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. On behalf of the United States of America, as President and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it is an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. Thank you for your attention to this matter. It sounds like some legal person has written this, and on behalf of other countries in the Middle East, I think he is referring to Israel. Let us go to Trita Parsi. So Trita is saying that, if you remember, Trump had put forward a 15-point plan which Iran had rejected. Prior to that, Iran had put forth a 10-point plan, which is what was being negotiated when Trump attacked Iran. So we're back to the 10-point plan. We are also back to asking for status quo ante of the Strait of Hormuz. That the Strait of Hormuz should go back to what it was February 27th. I doubt very much if Iran will actually agree to that. The question is, did thousands of people need to die? Did little children need to die to literally go back to February 27th? So here's what Trita is saying. The most important sentence in Trump's ceasefire post is that the ensuing negotiations will be based on the Iranian 10-point proposal and not Trump's 15-point proposal. These are the key aspects of Iran's proposal. Permanent end to hostilities, a lasting peace agreement rather than a temporary ceasefire. Security guarantees, assurances that Iran will not be attacked again. Lifting sanctions, complete removal of all U.S. sanctions imposed on Iran. Strait of Hormuz, reopening. Iran would reopen the vital energy route but charge a $2 million fee per vessel to be split with Iran. Regional security, end to Israeli strikes in Lebanon and other regional attacks. Reconstruction funding, revenue from the strait to be used for rebuilding infrastructure rather than direct reparations. So, what else do we know at this point? Iran is saying that negotiations with the U.S. will be held in Islamabad to finalize the details over the next 15 days or so, apparently. Then we are hearing that Israel too is announcing that they're stopping the bombing. We'll know more as the night goes on to see if that really is. Pakistan moved the markets. Crude oil fell to 103, down from 115. So about, when the announcement was made, I think it dropped about $9. Brent is below 100, so it's at 98, dropped 10. So that was good. I'm assuming that if everything holds, the market will be gangbusters tomorrow morning. The interesting thing is all the players that played a part. Pakistan is probably the only country that literally busted its ass to keep the diplomatic channels open. So Pakistan talks to all the GCC countries, all. Obviously to Iran, to China, to Russia, to the United States, to everybody who needs to be involved. So what it seems is that Pakistan took the lead in making this happen, talking to Iran, talking to the US, talking to Iran, talking to the US. And they asked Turkey and Egypt to also do the same thing. So Egypt talking to the United States, Turkey talking to Iran and the United States. But the heavy weight that came in to convince the Iranians to do this, it seems, was China. Because China maintains a very strong relationship with Pakistan and with Iran, being a huge consumer of Iranian oil, China convinced the Iranians to take a chance and providing some level, I would think, of guarantee that probably the US has also agreed to. Trump was desperately looking for an off-ramp, something that Netanyahu was probably not letting him have. But it seems, somebody has said, it seems that the real battle has between the Pakistani diplomats and Netanyahu. And it seems that Pakistan, with the help of China and other regional actors, has helped Trump climb down. Because he was so far up the ladder that it would have been impossible for him to find an off-ramp unless Pakistan hadn't stepped in and made it public. The difference is that Pakistan has been doing everything back channel, but today the Prime Minister put that post out publicly. And that was probably done with the consent of the White House, because the White House probably wanted that as an off-ramp. And that is probably what has happened. So, good on Pakistan. Kudos to the Pakistani diplomats. Let's see if we actually do have a 2-week reprieve. Let's see under what conditions Iran permits the ships to move unmolested. But it seems that this $2 million fee is very much in the 10 points, which Trump says is a good basis to begin negotiations. So I think that's about all the news one has from tonight and some of the analysis from tonight. But apparently the White House is saying that Israel has agreed to a ceasefire and to suspend the attacks for 2 weeks. And, the ceasefire will take effect when Iran opens the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, that is laughable. The ceasefire begins when we go back to February 27th, basically. And again, I say, did 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 people need to die? Did so much destruction need to happen. I mean, what was achieved? The regime was not changed. Iran was not degraded where it really matters. The Strait of Hormuz remains Iran's key leverage to be exercised at any point. Iranian oil is flowing, so by default, the sanctions on oil has been lifted. So what exactly has been achieved? What has been achieved is Iran has shown that the regime can survive. Iran has shown that it can harm the GCC countries quite a bit. Iran has done a lot of damage to Israel, regardless of the censorship that Israel is practicing, the media blackout. It seems a lot of destruction happened. Iran has forever changed whatever image the UAE at least was projecting to the world. All of the GCC, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar. That Disneyland in the desert, the fun land, the wealth generation, this, that, and the other, that the Gulf countries were projecting, especially Dubai and Abu Dhabi. I think that has been tarnished for a very, very long time, if not forever. Because without safety and security, with that kind of uncertainty, it is very hard to imagine that they will return to status quo ante. It will not be February 27, 2026 for the GCC. So that is a huge change, and Iran has shown that they can disrupt the world economy dramatically. That nuclear weapon, as Wali Nasser had said, is not the most potent weapon. What they have in their hand actually is a weapon of mass disruption, and that is the Strait of Hormuz. So those are the kind of shifts that I see. And also, a gentleman, I think he's based in Chicago, he's a political analyst, he said that Iran has now become a geopolitical power because they have changed the geopolitics of the region and have actually emerged as a power center through this war and surviving. Despite the destruction, despite whatever degradation has happened, they have emerged as a power. So these are some of the interesting things to be watching, but certainly nothing is the same anymore in geopolitics. And I have to say, the stature of the United States has been seriously degraded. And that is also something to watch in the coming days.